Okay, so let's get started. So I am Hemanshu Shah, CEO and founder of Enzigma. Today we are going to discuss like how to revolutionize the document related solutions in Salesforce. During this webinar, we are going to have certain forward-looking statements. So please make your decisions based on the actual demo you request and the features you get committed rather than the features we discussed today here on the webinar. So I'll move forward. So first of all, about Enzigma, we have more than 23 years of experience in the industry. We've been working in Salesforce ecosystem since 2005. That's more than 20 years of experience. We have done tens of App Exchange applications. So we are ISV partner of Salesforce. Other than that, we have done thousands of implementation of Salesforce across various domains like BFSI, healthcare, education, etc. Okay, and our main expertise is in Salesforce, and recently we have also started working into Zoho. Today's agenda is going to be what is the critical role of the documents in every business. Second is what are the key business challenges people face with the document related processes. What are the different document processes which can be involved for your automation, right? So we are going to list some of them so you get the idea. Um, we are going to focus on the document generation, email, signing, and organizing the generated documents or any documents for that matter. So that's the process. What are the challenges about this process? And then the introduction of a docuWeaver, how docuWeaver might help you to take care of those challenges. Last but not least, most of the companies who has not used docuWeaver or tool like docuWeaver, and if they have to migrate, what are the migration challenges they may face and how to address those challenges. So this is the key agenda. Okay, so I'll move on to the next. So of course, document powers every core business process. And like in sales, you need to generate quotes or contracts which need to send to the client. In finance, either invoices or loan agreements or balance statements and whatnot. In legal, like NDAs, compliance documents, etc. So not only you have to generate this document, but you want to organize them and search these documents later on. So these are the various use cases in different domains which people have to deal with related document. So it's very critical impact for every business. Okay. So, what are the key business challenges related to documents? So, sorry guys, but I'm going to move a little faster so we have enough time for the question and answers at the end. So, if you want me to slow down or anything, please do raise your hand so I can address your concern. Um, So key business challenges people generally face is one is the operational efficiency. So if you are creating documents manually, obviously it's going to slow you down. You cannot scale up. It can be error prone. So not a great thing. Operationally, it's a bad idea, right? um, Revenue leakage. So if you have delays in your contract signing or generating quote, you might end up losing the business. Okay. Or if there are errors in the documents, even that can lead you to a costly rework or contract changes or even loss of revenue for that matter. um, Compliance and risk exposure. So if you don't have an audit trail, you don't know what's going on with your document and you may end up having your compliance concerns. So that's another challenge you may have with the document related process. And last but not least is the poor customer experience or user experience for that matter. So if your customer receives multiple emails with different formats or turnaround time is too high, that creates a very poor customer experience. So these are generally the key business challenges. Foremost is operational efficiency. It increases your cost, stops you from scaling up your business. Um, so, what are different uh, document processes which are possible in CRM or non-CRM environment? I would say. So, one is document translation. So, if you are using you are into multilingual ecosystem, you might want to translate the document from one language to another so that you can see them side by side and you can communicate with the client. Another process is the OCR process. So if you hold documents or you receive the documents from the customer and you need to extract the data from that document and put it into Salesforce, that can be another process. Another is document management, which is plain and simple. When you are uploading the documents, if it is just one single list, it's very difficult to find the document you are looking for, especially they are duplicate names. Each document you have to open and see what it is. Because while uploading itself, you have to give the name correctly, which is cumbersome. Not only that, if you don't have search by content feature, then if you want to find specific keyword in a file content, it's not possible. So this is like document management related process. Next is generate email and attachment. So not only you want to generate documents, but also you want to generate emails and attach those generated documents to your email and send it to the client. For example, order summary, right? So in that case, you'll have an order which is kind of generated and the summary should be in the email, and that order should go as an email attachment to the customer. Another process is document signing. So you generate certain contract or a quote, and then you send it for the signing by some e-signature tool, and then you have to store that within Salesforce, and you might want to do some automation. So these are different various processes which you can do with uh, documents, right? There can be more, and we would like to hear from you if you see any other process we have missed. So before we move forward, I would like to conduct a small poll. Which document processes do you currently handle in Salesforce? So if you can give your answer, that will be great. So we have about 30 seconds to move forward. So please let us know like which are the document related processes you are handling in Salesforce today. Okay. Thank you so much for your responses. This is really helpful. Um, so what we are going to discuss today is only like two or three processes from the various processes we discussed earlier. That is document generation, email generation, sending the generated document or document for signing, and tracking what is happening with the signature. And last is like obviously organizing them. So it requires template management, generation, sending for signing, storing, and then tracking it. So that's what we are going to talk about. So, what are the different document lifecycle challenges with document generation, signing, and manage? This is the core of the webinar here. So, generally, if you try to automate your document generation or signing or managing, these are the challenges you'll face. So one is like your if you are using a third party tool, certain tool requires you to learn SOQL. Okay, you have to write your own logic, which is difficult to do if you are not a developer. No centralized template or version. So you if you want to go back to older version of the templates, it's difficult. um, no post generation automation. So let's say once the document is generated and you want to automate certain workflow, you cannot do that. Okay. Limited control over storage. So let's say if you are using a third party tool or Salesforce to generate a file, it will store it into the storage they support, like only storage they support. So that's another limitation. And then some of the tools don't have the integration with signing tools, so you might have to manually initiate the e-signature. So these are general challenge with the generation can be, and we are going to talk like different ways you can do the generation in a minute. With the signing, generally when you once you send the document for signing, you will have to go to the signing service to check what's the status of the signing. You cannot see it from within the Salesforce. That can be one challenge. Second is if you are using certain document generation tool, you might be locked to one particular e-signature tool. So now let's say they increase the price, you want to change the e-signature provider, you cannot do that. You are locked to one. Third one is like if you want to do certain automation after signing is done, uh, it may not be possible with each and every tool. So this can be another challenge. And the signed document you might want to bring back to Salesforce so you can have a system of records in one place, like what document we sent, all the signed documents are in one place. So it might not be possible. So this can be another challenge. With the management, like if you are using Salesforce files, it does allow duplicate files. So within the account, there can be hundreds of files with the same name, and it's very, very difficult to know which file is what, right? So this can be one challenge. Second challenge is like Salesforce storage cost may be higher. If you want to use some cheaper solution, or let's say you have a great plan with say OneDrive and you cannot use that and you have to pay Salesforce, that can be another challenge. Um, Now, Salesforce files does not allow you to search the file from the content of the file itself. So that's another challenge. Now, certain clients they want they have a global business. They are in multiple region, but their Salesforce org can be in like one single region, but their clients can be in different region. And as per the compliance, they want to make sure their files are stored in different region based on the client's location. So that might not be possible at times. Okay. And then if you want to do some automation based on certain document you receive, or you want to organize it in folder, that is not possible. So these are the general challenge with the document lifecycle related to generation, signing, and management. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick poll, like which are the key challenges do you face today with the document generation or signing or emailing or management? So if you can please give your response in next 30 seconds, that would be great. Okay, great. Thanks for your responses. Okay. So I see major challenges like switching between multiple applications, inability to automate end-to-end process. Yes, that's a great one. Initial cost is the last problem. So that's good. Okay. So there are various way you can address the challenges we just discussed. There are majorly like three options. One is manual process. Obviously, you don't want to do that. So I'll not even go into that. Second is you can write your own code. You can create your own custom solution. Some of the companies they do it. I've seen financial companies doing it that way. Okay. So that's second option. And third is you basically buy some third party tool to do it for you. So these are the three different ways. Uh, Depending on which approach you take, it can be very high maintenance or high cost to maintain it, or your speed will be too slow. Let's say you are trying to build something of your own, you might be too slow to get there. So you get a low agility. Or third is like the poor experience. So it can be the experience for the end user may not be great. So people might not use that tool. So these are the three general challenge you might face if you use any of these tools. So it's a generic challenge again, right? But traditional approach might fail if you don't use a third party tool. So that's where we are arriving at. Um, so Salesforce has the native solution to generate a document, by the way. If you're not aware, here's the thing. It's like you can generate document for certain standard objects. If you see on the right, this is the document generated. It's a quote generated from Salesforce. It generates a PDF, which I can send to the client. But if you see, the UI is very, very basic, not very attractive. You don't want to send such code to your client, and that's where you might have to go to some other solution. So that's the reason Salesforce native solution doesn't work. Not just the look and feel of it, but it supports only certain objects. Very limited automation you can do with it. Very limited customization you can do with the template. So various reasons. Second is the custom solution. Obviously, you have full control here, right? Because it's tailored to your specific business. You have full control over the way it will work, which is great. You can have, if you have multiple internal systems or multiple systems, you can integrate your tool with that because you have the full power. You can create the user experience you want. So that's like all the freedom you get. Okay. And then no dependency on external vendors, no licensing cost. There might be cost to run the system, but there is no licensing cost. So these are the advantage if you write the custom solution. What are the disadvantage or hidden costs, right? So one is that it can be high development and ongoing maintenance costs because you have to hire a developer to do that. If you are a smaller company, it's very, very expensive. Second is like you are strong dependency on internal developers. So you have to maintain those developer, and if they leave, you you have a problem kind of thing. Um, Third is longer implementation change cycle. Many customers we see they do implement themselves and then it takes forever to even launch a new feature and they end up not launching that feature. So those kind of challenges you'll face. Limited scalability and reusability because you can't scale with that model, right? Because if you use something out of the box, you can scale faster, better, rather than building on your own. And knowledge loss risk when team changes. So we already discussed that. So if a person who built the system leaves, then you are in a soup. So these are a challenge with the customer. So while it offers you the full control, there are challenges with this approach. The third party paradox. So great part about third party tools is like you can get automated template based document creation. So it will do it out of the box. All you have to do is configure your template and it can start working. It might have inbuilt integrated solution for e-signature. So you don't have to build it, just configure it and get going with it. And they are good at it, by the way. They might have their own storage support. So you don't have to even build that. It will do it for you, right? And then configurable workflow automation. Some of the third-party tool that automation you need, which was one of the challenge you end up in the poll you gave. So some tool do provide that automation that once the document is signed via the workflow, that can be done. And also it can retrieve the complex retrieve data. It can retrieve the complex data from Salesforce. So if you have a code, payment terms, code items, such complex data, you can easily do that with the third-party tools. Some of them, not all of them, right? The hidden cost and challenges first is obviously the license fees. Now, certain times you can decide a tool based on the licenses, but if that tool increase the licenses steeply, then you are in a soup. So we hear that a lot nowadays. Like in the last 1 year, we heard it from a couple of tools. They increase their pricing like crazy, and then customer in the soup. So that's one challenge. Second is some tools they have very complex interface. Okay, or you have to learn SOQL to uh, implement it, which again requires a developer. Again, we are in the same kind of a custom solution zone. So that's two major challenge we see. And some of the tools, the support is my email. They don't respond it for 2 days and whatnot. So these are the challenges you might face with a third party. So obviously, each approach has its own pros and cons. You have to leverage and decide which is right for you. So before we go any further, another poll time. Which solution are you currently using for document generation, signing, emailing, and management? If you can please respond in next 30 seconds, that would be great. So very few responses. So I guess you might not be using any tool as of now. Okay. So let's move forward. Um, so here's a small video like people, the challenges you might face when you are using document generation or signing with Salesforce. Okay. I'm going to play this video. I hope you can hear the audio. If you don't, please raise your hand. So I'll just move forward.
Salesforce is great at managing data, but when it comes to documents, things quickly fall apart. Teams struggle at every stage, generating documents without automation, sending them for e-signature through disconnected tools, and managing signed files without proper structure or visibility. Users are forced to jump between multiple tools for document generation, e-signature, and storage. The result? Manual work, delays, errors, and rising costs across the entire document lifecycle. What if the entire document lifecycle worked automatically as inside Salesforce is great at managing.
Okay. So we saw the challenges so far, and we are going to present how docuWeaver may help you address those challenges. Okay. So first of all, for the generation, docuWeaver has a visual data extractor. So you don't have to learn SOQL if you are admin with Salesforce. Just using this visual interface, you can create and extract data from your complex structure easily. Second is like you have conditional and reusable templates for both document and email. So not only we can generate the document, but also we can generate the email with the content using the data from Salesforce. And best part is conditional. So there are certain business cases where you want to choose certain template based on the condition of the record you are invoking it from. For example, let's say I want to generate a quote, and quote is for from certain partner. It should look like it's coming from certain partner. So it should choose a template automatically. If there's a partner mentioned, based on that partner, it should choose the right template automatically. So that's one of the use cases. There are n number of use cases you can see where you want to automatically choose the right template for you. So that is doable in docuWeaver. Third is like certain uh, people want, like, before we send the document which is generated, I want to preview it so I know what's going to the client exactly. So that is possible. Not only you can preview the document which is generated, but even you can preview the email which is generated and each document generated in it. Okay. Also, you have option to even edit it if you want to. Everything is possible. Like, not document, but email you can edit. Okay. You can generate various different kind of documents like contracts, invoices, quotes, NDA reports, financial reports, portfolio report, etc. Okay. And best part about email generation, obviously most of the tools out there will do most of the things. What we are mentioning is what we do the best, and which is our USP apart from the other tools. Okay. So email generation with the table. So that's another powerful feature we have. Not only you can have tables in the document and images in the document, but you can also have tables in your email. So you can send the summary and all within the email. So that's document generation. With the signing, you can initiate the signing either totally admin defined, where in the template itself you mention which signatory's email signature will go where. So when the document is generated and sent to the signing tool, there is no user intervention required. Okay, so that can be done. And not only it will generate the document and send it for signing, it will store that copy in Salesforce automatically for you, along with the copy which is sent to the signing tool. Okay. Uh, Whenever the document is being signed on the signing tool, you will get the updates in Salesforce automatically. Okay. Third is like you can do the post signing automation. So once the document is fully signed, that fully signed document will be attached to Salesforce of wherever you want, wherever you decided. It will cover that later. And also you can automate some process on that. For example, we sent an NDA to a vendor or anyone, and we want to make sure once the NDA is signed, we want a checkbox to be checked that NDA has been executed on a account record. You can do that kind of automation. And the best part with docuWeaver is you can bring your own service for signing. Okay. Obviously, currently we are supporting only DocuSign, but the way it is written is like you can support more signing tool easily. Okay. So we are not just working with DocuSign, we can work with other signing tools if you want to. Okay. So that's the best part about DocuWeaver. You're not just locked to one single tool. In the management, unlike Salesforce files, you can organize the files, the attachments in folders. Okay. You can do the automation. So for example, let's say a financial service company, and like as soon as account reaches to certain stage, you want to automatically create a folder structure where you can upload the file. It can be done. So you can do that kind of automation too. Okay. Not only that, when you attach a file, you want to do any automation, you can do that. Okay. It can work with multiple storage services like S3, Azure, Google, SharePoint, etc. So not only you can decide to store the file in Salesforce itself, but you can store it outside Salesforce also. Okay, it has its own advantage. So let's say this is a very common use case. We have companies where there are only 10 licenses of Salesforce they have for salespeople, but they don't have the license for the accounting team. So whenever they generate any quote, they want to make sure the accounting team gets the quote not in the email but in the central repository, which is SharePoint. So what they do is they generate the quote in the Salesforce. It is attached to Salesforce. It is visible in Salesforce, but it's stored in uh, SharePoint. And accounts team can access the SharePoint directly without having to log in into Salesforce. So this is a very common use case. So that's possible. Another one is search by name or content. So generally in Salesforce, you can search file only by name, right? But if the storage server which you are using, like say in our case is Azure or SharePoint. Sorry, SharePoint is the one where you can even search the file by content. If the storage supports search the file by content, docuWeaver will support it inbuilt. Okay. Next one is the version control and data integrity. So if even though your storage might not support the version inbuilt, docuWeaver will support it. So it will just create multiple files for each version on your storage server. So you can maintain the version history of each document. Okay. And there is no built-in file size limit. Only file size limit you have to worry about is the storage server's limit, which is not decided by us, it's by the storage server. So you can go much beyond that. So for media services and all, if you want to attach larger files than 2 GB, you can using like S3 or Azure or whatever tool you would like. So I think this is, I think last poll, but we'll see. What matters most to you when choosing a document solution? So let's go with that poll. We'll give you 30 seconds. Um, what is very important for you? So let's say if you decide to go for a document solution tool, what one of which will be the most important feature for you out of this? We'll give another 10 seconds before we move forward. As we are tight on time. We are almost over the time now. Okay, let's close the poll. Um, so how docuWeaver solves the core problems? Um, So before docuWeaver, some of the tools, even if you use third-party tool, you might have disconnect tools across multiple platforms. So let's say for generating a document, there'll be one tool. For signing, there'll be another tool. Okay, so even though you bought a tool, there is no full automation. You might not get the files in the organized folders. That can be another challenge. Zero visibility into document status. So if you have a disconnected tool, signing was done using some other tool, you might not see the signing status in Salesforce. Okay, and then you might be locked to one specific tool. With docuWeaver, because it's an aggregator, you can do all this with like literally one click if you want to, and you can choose your own services for this. So that is what you get with docuWeaver. So here's a quick use case.
A leading financing company approves loans fast with docuWeaver with just one click. It pulls borrower details, loan amount, rates, and terms from Salesforce, generates the PDF and sends it for signing, tracks signer status in real time back to Salesforce, then organizes signed docs in SharePoint. In this way, docuWeaver completes the entire automation with a single click. The document is generated, signed, and organized.
So with document, not only you can generate it, but also you can generate it in like uh, with one click, like with, and we are going to show you how. So basically, there are like 4 components involved to configure the docuWeaver. One is the data set. Data set is where you define where the data is going to come from. You extract the complex data from Salesforce. Document template is generally a Word file where you copy and paste the tags from the data set, which data go will where in the document template. Email template is the same for the email content. And then action group is the most powerful thing, which is nothing but a button. So it can be multiple buttons in a group, and clicking on that button, uh, what action should that button do? So let me quickly run this video. So here is like a data set I'm creating. I can get data from multiple objects. As you see, there is no SOQL to be learned. Once you have the data set, you just copy and paste the tags into the Word file. And once the Word file is ready, you upload that Word file as a document template. Okay. And in the document template group, you can define the signatories also if you need to. And once that is done, um, this is just for the automation where the signature should go. Same way you can do the email template. And once that is done, you can move on to the, oh, why stop? I don't know. Okay. You have to click what action it will do, whether it is admin defined. A difference between admin defined and user defined is like whatever admin has decided, those actions will be taken automatically. If it's user defined, admin will still say what actions user can take, and then user can at runtime decide what action he wants to take on the button. So for example, I can just say admin define, say generate the document, send it by email to the owner of the record. So that's admin defined. And for the user defined, it can say, you know, generate, let the user choose the template, and then let him review the output, and then generate the email and let admin what he allows the user to do. So that's like a quick configuration walkthrough how docuWeaver can be configured without coding. Okay, obviously it gives you the time reduction in generating the document, 60 to 80% cost saving compared to other tools as well as Salesforce or manually creating the documents. Onboarding speed is much faster than any other tool. Error reduction in generating the document. You get the traceability where the document is right now in the signing that you can do. And because it's like the buttons are configurable, the adoption, you don't have to train the user for everything. It will guide the user what to do. So it's very, very easy to use compared to most of the tools out there. Here's the roadmap, what we are thinking with docuWeaver in the future. So obviously we want to do more options for the storage and signing. Other than that, we want to do document intake, translation, and the OCR capability. So this is something we are thinking of in future. Now, most of the organization, if they are using some tool, they are little bit reluctant to move to say another tool or say docuWeaver for that matter. Why will that be? So mostly there can be a migration risk. They are thinking, oh, support it or not. That's one. Second is like the templates we have made, they are beautiful. Whether this new tool will be able to support it or not, right? So that's two things. Cost can be prohibitive. It can be license cost or it can be implementation or migration cost. Okay. Fourth thing, which worries the most of the user, whether end user will be able to use it easily or do we have to train them? Will they adapt it or not? Okay. And then the integration complexity, like how easy it is to integrate with my Salesforce and other systems we have. These are the five major challenges why people don't go for like migration, or they're reluctant to go for migration. So we are going to quick do a last poll. This is definitely last poll. Like, what is the most important reason why you think it will be you will be resisted, like you will not be moving to some other tool from what you are using today? So with this poll, I think we are going to end, like it will take another 3 minutes or so to complete the webinar. So if you can please give your responses, that would be great. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so to address these challenges or concerns for migrating, this is what we are offering as docuWeaver. Um, So you can share your most complex use case with your document related solution or related to document generation or signing or emailing or all of them, or management for that matter, all of them. We will do a free minimum viable product development for you. We will implement that use case for you free of cost, no charge to you. Okay. And if it works, then you can decide whether you want to move to docuWeaver or not. Okay, so that's way the best way we can take care of all the challenges you think of migrating to third party tool. We can address those. So this is what we are offering, and once you have that, then obviously we can easily migrate you quickly because of the features we told you about, and you can have a quick ROI, and that is also something we can provide you. And with that, I think we are done with what we had to show you. And thank you so much for attending this, and would like to hear from you if you have any questions related to, not doesn't have to be related to docuWeaver, any document related challenges, questions you have or solution you need. Please feel free to ask those. Okay, so I guess no questions. I hope this session was beneficial to you to understand the document processes involved, challenges, and how we address with docuWeaver and other tools. um, If you think it was helpful, please give us a thumbs up so we know at least like you got it. And it will encourage us to do more webinar like this in future. Thank you so much. I think Ravi has raised the hand other than that. So if you have question,
No, sorry, I was reacting.
just saying thumbs
Apologies.
up. Okay, great, great, great. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much everyone for attending this. Really appreciate your time and have a good one. Have a good day ahead.